Yeah, motherfuckers. Oh, yeah, I'm back. This is your main man, Mr. Can You Dig It? Baton Rouge Mayor. And I'm back with a couple hot ticks of these motherfucking politics. Hit that motherfucking subscribe button, nigga. Oh, look, America. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking motherfucking news. Okay, America. I am here to let you know that the story that Donald Trump and Todd Blanche, the punk son of a bitch, came up with about a motherfucking man shooting in the motherfucking club at Donald Trump. I have came to believe, going through transcripts and looking at it last night, that it wasn't that man's gun that was fired. It was one of the Secret Service and the FBI fired that gun, and they hit one another. I think some real fishy shit is going on about this shit, and I'm gonna get to the motherfucking bottom of it. Can you dig it? America. I'm going through the transcripts right now and reading articles, but you can bet your ass I will be back, and I'm gonna convict some motherfucking body. Can you dig it? Lock all they motherfucking ass up.
Counsel's inability to have a privileged and confidential conversation with Mr. Allen is an obvious and grave violation of his rights under the Sixth Amendment. Moreover, members of the defense team were required to share one handheld device with low-quality audio that requires elevated voices to hear. This type of meeting with Mr. Allen falls well short of what the Constitution guarantees of every defendant. The absurdity of an initial attorney-client meeting in front of correctional staff and unrelated attorneys had no stated purpose and was characterized as merely administrative. As the court is aware, the D.C. jail has housed many high-profile defendants, but none, to counsel's knowledge, have ever been denied this essential right in the manner counsel experienced on April 28th. In other words, this has never happened before, ever, with lots of high-profile criminal defendants throughout many, many years. This is Washington, D.C. People have been arrested for a lot of very, very serious things.
Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy.
Oh, look, America. This is why I say something's real motherfucking wrong with this shit, with this shooting that happened with Donald Trump. A judge don't really write this. This is what a judge wrote yesterday to Donald Trump. The United States is ordered to produce all exculpatory evidence to defendant pursuant to Brady v. Maryland and its progeny. Not doing so is in a timely manner may result in sanctions, including exclusive of evidence, adverse jury instructions, dismissal of charges, and attempt proceedings. Okay, the judge even motherfucking real suspicious about that. Even the judge is saying something is wrong with this, and they better have their shit together. I tell you what you can do with Donald Trump and Todd Blanche at the head. Put the motherfucking handcuffs on Todd Blanche and lock his motherfucking ass up. He's trying to taint the motherfucking jury and lie to the motherfucking judge. He should have been his punk ass to jail.
Minute order as to Cole Thomas Allen. As required by Rule 5F, the United States is ordered to produce all exculpatory evidence to the defendant pursuant to Brady versus Maryland and its progeny. Not doing so in a timely manner may result in sanctions, including exclusion of evidence, adverse jury instructions, dismissal of charges, and contempt proceedings, and that's signed by the federal magistrate judge. Now, that's just a basic restatement of law, But I don't see why that would need to be posted like that, because it's obviously an obligation by the federal government. But this magistrate judge knows that this DOJ hides the ball over and over again. Then you take a look at this docket and you find that Cole Allen's lawyer says he's being deprived of the ability to consult with them without being monitored ahead of a major detention hearing, which is taking place today.
Today, the Department of Justice filed 3 federal charges in United States District Court against Cole Thomas Allen. The first count is attempted assassination of the President of the United States. This count is punishable by up to life in prison. The second count is interstate transportation of a firearm to commit a felony. This is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. And the third count is discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence, which is punishable by a mandatory minimum term of imprisonment of 10 years, a maximum of life, and the 10 years is consecutive to any other sentence imposed.
This is a letter right here to the United States Attorney's Office in the District of Columbia, and here's what Cole Allen's lawyers say. We were pleased to hear your pronouncement that you intend to take your Brady obligations seriously in Mr. Allen's case. We trust that you agree that your responsibilities include the timely disclosure of potentially exculpatory facts. As you know, we have received no discovery and have been provided no information about the government's theory of the case, other than that which is contained in the complaint and your detention memorandum. Because you make factual assertions that appear to be either contradicted or at least somewhat undermined by statements by law enforcement, we make the following requests and ask you to provide answers prior to the detention hearing. Thus, pursuant to Brady versus Maryland and other similar cases, the Due Process Act and the local rules, we request the following.
Oh! Look, America, something is real fishy about this shit. The shooter had a shotgun. Now, it was nothing but a motherfucking pistol that was shot when the incident happened. But the shooter had a shotgun. Something happened. Lock all these motherfuckers. Oh, look, America, this shit is getting real hot. If the fucking so-called shooter had a shotgun, he ain't never pulled it off, never aimed it or nothing, and he still had shots fired. Something is wrong. Lock that stinking...
Well, there are a couple of things. You can see that the Secret Service officers were removing the magnetometers because all the guests were already inside. And when the man runs through, what this shows us that still images and the grainier video from before did not, is you see him raise the weapon, the shotgun, the 12-gauge shotgun, in the direction of the lower left part of the screen where there is a Secret Service officer who then returned fire. What officials tell us is when that gun was raised, it was discharged. They have the spent cartridge in the gun. And you can see there the officer in the lower left who, while he was taking on that shot, so hit with buckshot across his ballistic vest. Also, he had a cell phone, I'm told, on his person there. He then was able to fire 5 rounds toward the suspect. No other federal officers or law enforcement discharged their weapons. So
oh, look, America, I've been reviewing the motherfucking tape. It's no indication that the motherfucking shooter shot his motherfucking shotgun. This shit is a prop. Ty Blanche need to be handcuffed, kicked in his ass, and lock his motherfucking ass up.
Thank you so much. Do you know specifically if President Trump was a target of this attack? And can you speak to there was reporting about the suspect assembling a long weapon and to get into the ballroom? Can you speak to that at all?
Yes, so as we said before, we do know the president was inside the ballroom. We know there was cabinet members and many guests in there. Who specifically he was targeting at this point, that's part of the investigation. We do know that he was armed with a shotgun when he ran through that checkpoint, so that would look like a long weapon in video.
All right, right here.
Oh, look, America, Jeff Landry, the fucking governor of Louisiana, need to be locked the fuck up. Look, America, this son of a bitch is trying to stop election for next month that the ballots had already been wrote. A lot of people had already voted, and this son of a bitch trying to come in and stop the vote so he can gerrymander the maps, so he can stop black people from voting. America, we need to lock this son of a bitch up. This is what he said, Louisiana. Jeff Landry told Republican House candidates Wednesday that he plans to suspend next month's primary election so state lawmakers can pass a new congressional map first, according to 2 people with knowledge of the call. This motherfucker is trying to gerrymander the whole Baton Rouge area in Louisiana. Put the handcuffs on that racist son of a bitch. Kick him in his motherfucking ass. Now lock his motherfucking ass up. And all them racist son of a bitches in the state capitol.
Sources tell ABC News Louisiana's Republican governor plans to suspend the state's primaries after the Supreme Court limited the Voting Rights Act. The court ruled one of the state's 2 majority black districts was improperly drawn and relied too heavily on race. Now Governor Jeff Landry says the state can hold its congressional elections under its current map.
I think this whole race baiting race issue on the redistricting has been put to bed.
State leaders are moving quickly after Wednesday's Supreme Court decision striking down one of Louisiana's 2 majority-minority districts.
The court didn't say you can't look at race. It just said race cannot be the deciding factor.
Another decision today, this time from Governor Jeff Landry.
The court decides to give it to us on the eve of the election. What are they telling us? Are they telling us we have to draw? Are they telling us we don't have to draw? Should we draw?
The governor opted to suspend only the congressional race, a decision that's drawing scrutiny.
Show us the law that gives you the power to suspend the election.
According to the governor's executive order, an electoral emergency exists, an emergency that under state law allows the governor to suspend or delay elections to protect voter safety, participation, and the integrity of the process.
And so what they are trying to do is confuse the voters of Louisiana and make this a complete mess when it doesn't have to be, all to ensure that people don't have the right to vote.
Oh, breaking news, breaking motherfucking news. Okay, America. Finally, Donald Trump done heard me. Donald Trump and Fox News are attacking my network, my producer, being from the Midas Touch, because we had Hakeem's Jeffrey in an interview today blowing on Donald Trump. Donald Trump made a statement saying he do not like Midas Touch. Well, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you what we can do with you, bitch. Put the handcuffs on Donald Trump, punk ass. I know you hear that, huh? Turn his pussy ass around. Take his pamper out. Get jiggy with it. Put the handcuffs on his partner. Now turn both of them bitches around. Lock their motherfucking ass up. And every motherfucking body in the White House, they think it's a motherfucking game.
Well, it was a totally despicable decision in terms of gutting Section 2 in the Voting Rights Act, which up until this point had been the preeminent piece of civil rights legislation in American history as part of our march toward a more perfect union and achieving a multiracial democracy. And there was a lot of sacrifice. A lot of people bled. People died to actually get to a point where you had an unfettered right to vote. that was free of racial discrimination and intimidation. And the Supreme Court majority, of course, has just ushered that back in part because they are doing everything they can, it appears, to artificially give Donald Trump a Republican majority in the Congress and in the Senate, which, of course, he's at risk of losing because his presidency has been a disaster and the Republicans have been nothing but sycophants and rubber stamps for Donald Trump's extreme agenda.
Hakeem Jeffries. Have you guys heard of him? I don't know that he'd do very well in Chipley if he ran for office, but he's threatening Florida. Oh, you can't do the redistrict. We're going to come down. We're going to get you guys all this stuff. Go ahead. Make my day. Bring it on.
Low IQ guy, Hakeem Jeffries, is a totally low IQ person, and he's always ranting and raving, oh, this war is so terrible, terrible. They shouldn't be saying that when we're in the midst of a negotiation, because it does hurt us somewhat. It gives the other side some hope, and I don't want them to have hope.
If Donald Trump wants to debate me anytime, any place, in the Oval Office, publicly, on camera, I'd be happy to do it. And we'll see who's intellectually superior in that type of contest. I've got no doubts as to what the outcome would be. And it's extraordinary to me that Donald Trump keeps recycling this low IQ insult. This is from the dumbest president ever to sit at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Oh, look, America. Don't believe Cocaine Pete Hicks said and Donald Trump with that bullshit talking about Iran is going to cry for a deal. Now you told them motherfucker just came out there and said they slang it down. Don't come your punk ass down the straight up muse. Look.
Secretary Pete Hegseth returned to Capitol Hill, appearing Thursday before the Senate Armed Services Committee.
We're rebuilding a military that the American people can be proud of.
Democrats on the panel questioned the strategy behind the operation in Iran.
Since your last public testimony, you and President Trump have unwisely taken the United States to war with Iran.
Today's hearing comes amid a pivotal deadline Friday. The War Powers Resolution of 1973 states presidents must terminate the use of armed forces after 60 days unless Congress declares war or authorizes it.
It's working out very well. They got a little cute, as they have been doing for 47 years, but we're talking to them. They wanted to close up the strait again, you know, as they've been doing for years, and they can't blackmail us.
After the ceasefire in Lebanon accepted, based on the terms and conditions of the ceasefire, we announced that a safe passage of commercial vessels with coordination of our authorities, maritime authorities, is possible. Then the other side, the American side, tried to sabotage that by saying that it is open except for Iranians. So that was the reason that we said that if you are going to violate the ceasefire terms and conditions, and if Americans are not going to honor their words, then there will be repercussions for them.
If you don't have a deal by Wednesday when the ceasefire ends, will you extend the ceasefire, or will you
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I won't extend it.
Okay.
But the blockade is going to remain. But maybe I won't extend it. So you have a blockade, and unfortunately we'll have to start dropping bombs again.